Questions?
I didn't have the chance to attend all the presentation, but I was really caught up with you had tons of activity in the video, so I would really love to hear about it. You know, the meter that they were holding, and they were covering their eyes, and you speak about these activities. I think it's very interesting.
We were trying to make them understand that the leader can influence the team, like by making them like blind followers. This is not my session. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. It's very rich presentation, a lot of things. So what were the 2 questions you used as selection criteria?
What do you know about responsible conduct of research, and what is the difference between fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism?
Okay. And then I had a couple of very practical questions. So the workshop at Cairo University was in May, right?
Yes.
A few days ago.
Yes.
So how many people did you have there?
Around 30.
And they were selected by the university, or did
Yes,
you
by university.
So not by you?
Yes.
And so the workshop at the Faculty of Medicine in Ain Shams, the same way, selected by the university?
Dr. Passant invited me because she yes, she was implementing her workshop.
Okay.
Yes, we invite Passant and Tarek to us as a facilitator. Actually, this day, me myself wasn't able to attend to Cairo, and we invited Passant and Tarek to be a facilitator with Passant to implement the workshop arrangements in. Yes.
Dr. Ola Hekel, and was one of the facilitators during the workshop of Passant. Passant is, it's one of my students, and I'm very delighted to have her in this workshop. About the questions that he was asking about the activities, we included in the workshop what is management in research conduct, how to implement management. So we have in the 3rd day we have 3 sessions, how to implement management. This was including teamwork, leadership, and controlling. So the session you were asking about, it is team working. So how to implement the teamwork in research. This is one of the difficult problems here in our country, in our culture. We are not working in teams. So to implement the principle of team working, I think it was a very important session, and it was a very nice activities that they really appreciated and enjoyed it.
Thank you, Passant, for the very nice presentation. First, I really like how you included other important and relevant topics, such as the leadership and communication and teamwork, so that was really nice. I just need to ask you about the documentation and what documents did you distribute to the participants? You said you had this booklet, which included the presentation or data from or scientific content. So what else did you distribute to the participants?
The booklet included only the summary about each session and the session activities.
Okay, so it was just the booklet.
Yes,
distributed.
yes.
More questions?
I was just asking him because there is like 30 minutes left for lunch. Already okay. So it's a good question, actually not for Passant, but maybe for Jen and Alistair. It's a general question for all the presentations. Because I noticed in most of the workshops, it's just like a general workshop having maybe more than 3 or 4 themes in 2 days. So would it be better to include 1 or 2 themes each day so we can, so did you find it too much to include that many themes in only 2 days workshop rather than concentrating on 1 theme or 2 themes in these 2 days workshop? Or it's better to include these?
Mohammed, can we finish with her and then get general discussion? Because this is a general point, it's not for her only, applies to many. So can you hold that, please?
I want to go back to the first couple of slides where you had the topics and the activities. Yes, this one. Well, first of all, you didn't mention that in your presentation, but because I was following with the this workshop myself, this workshop and the following ones that was replicated in the Cairo University and Ain Shams University was actually released in many of the news websites. I have seen it so much links describing about workshops on ethics of research and so far. So I think it was really nicely disseminated. I want to ask about what is game-based learning? And there was another. معلش نظري ضعيف I think what I'm trying to ask, what is the game-based learning? Like, what is this activity and how you want to align it with the teamwork and communication? Like game-based activity, what is it? Jigsaw. لا jigsaw خلاص نسيت. And yes, maybe he refreshed my mind, but what I wanted to ask as well, what is the jigsaw activity doing with the controlling? Like, what I'm trying to ask really is that this activity you've chosen or your facilitators have chosen carefully to communicate this activity or this topic. So I want to know what was this activity about and how they were communicating with the topic, like controlling, how the jigsaw actually delivered the controlling, and how the game-based learning delivered the teamwork and the communication activities.
So actually, I can't remember the game-based learning because it was not my session.
The picture of Zahra when she's making this way. This is the way how.
Okay. I can help you on that if you want.
So I will talk about the controlling process and the jigsaw, because this was my session. I think in controlling it is the type of how to evaluate the process, how to evaluate the educational or the research process. So I talked about controlling at the level of research institutes. That means that you put goals and then you make a plan and then you proceed and then you evaluate the process if it meets the goal or not, and if it is not meeting the goal you have to revise your plan to meet the mission and the vision that you already from the beginning you implement. This is what means controlling. And we think that controlling at National Research Center, especially, or at research institutes. So the jigsaw was like every part of the controlling process. I make groups, like implementing goals. This is one group, and the action plan, another group, and the evaluation, another group, and so on. And I make all groups to work together, and then some of members of the group moves to another group to discuss how they perform their plan, and then they return back to their own groups and started after this to make a poster. Each group to make a poster. After, like circulating ideas between them. This is what the jigsaw control. So about the game, maybe Passant will tell.
So as I said before, Dr. Al-Zahra tried to make the participants feel that
The value.
yes, the value of the leader and how the leader can influence his team by trying to cover their eyes and making them moving. Yes, for
Jim having something to add?
Okay, let me, oftentimes, when you start a process, you have audiences which are at different levels of preparation. And so rather than just talking about how audience A performed against audience B, given that they started at different levels, you normalize the results by looking at what percentage of what was left did they gain, which then puts the result of the group that started out, let's say, knowing 25% of the material that you're going to cover, which means they have 75% left that they can do. Whereas another group starts at a 50% level, which means that maximum gain is only 50%. To normalize it, then you give the results as the percentage of the amount that was left, and that then equates the two groups together. So it normalizes your results.
thank you.
Okay, now on your question. Okay, then do you have anything to add as last word? Then thank you very much. Now,